The coast redwood, Sequoia sempervirens. It is one of the world's most beloved trees, and for good reasons. These are the tallest living beings on Earth. They are also some of the oldest and largest living organisms we know of. Redwood National and State Parks are home to some of the grandest forests on the planet. But these forests are only a fraction of what they once were, due to over a century of commercial logging. Roughly 5% of the original old-growth redwood forests still remain, but over time that number will begin to grow.
Well, the primary objective of the Mill Creek property is to grow more old forest.
The Mill Creek property sits between the Smith River National Recreation Area to the east and the Jedediah Smith and Del Norte Coast Redwood State Parks to the west. Together, these forests make up the largest temperate rainforest reserve in the West. But Mill Creek still has a long way to go until its forests can be called old growth.
At Mill Creek, we have a very unnatural condition where Douglas fir predominates over redwood in many places where that wouldn't have occurred naturally. And the density of trees is so high that the trees are actually struggling and competing with each other for growing space, for light, for water. We have an ecologically based program of forest restoration to remove some of those stresses from the forest.
This program involves thinning dense young plantations and replanting a diversity of conifer species in riparian and restoration zones. Lathrop Leonard is the forest ecologist for state parks in charge of the thinning program.
Complexity that existed within the stand and the biodiversity that was a result of that complexity has been lost in forests like this. As we manage these stands, we will see the gradual return of those old growth conditions.
In addition to thinning dense stands of Douglas fir, it is necessary to restore stand diversity by growing and planting other conifer and hardwood species. The nursery at Mill Creek is operated by Dan Burgess, a local community organizer and restoration practitioner. Dan has gathered seeds and sprouts and is raising them in a well-designed nursery near the old mill site. One of their key issues is genetic integrity.
The seed source, again, is part of the genetic integrity program. We want to collect local material, find the source of the seed and the propagation material as close to the restoration site as possible. So that means within a mile, and if not within a mile, at least 800 feet in elevation from that site.
Thinning the vast stands of young trees is hard work and must be carefully coordinated with the road removal program in order to avoid difficult access situations. This investment of time and energy improves forest health and will decrease the time required to reestablish a forest stronghold on the Mill Creek property.
Cutting down the trees, tearing up the land. What we're gonna do if we lose our friend? Our tears will make the rivers flow. Johnny's gone for a soldier. Johnny's gone for a soldier. Johnny's gone for a hip. Johnny's gone for a soldier. Hip.
I'll be dead and gone before this stand looks like it did historically, but if I can at least get the stand, these forests, on a trajectory or on a path that will help them achieve those conditions in the long term, then I'll consider my work here successful.